is C.J. Weber, Neal, and the co-founders of the Sooner State Party. We also have Raven Burns, who is our executive director. We have Cecilia Esock, who is also one of the co-founders of the Sooner State Party. And we have Ezra Marshall, who is our communications director. So first of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out to be able to talk with us a little bit about what's been going on. I just kind of want to recap on what happened last week and the reason why we're here today. So last week, the election board announced that the primary elections for the 26 and 27 ballot years would not be open because no parties had submitted letters and enough time to be recognized to be able to do that. We have been since July of this year collecting signatures to be able to have independent voters have a third party option. Currently right now there are Democrats, there are Republicans, there are Libertarians that are on the ballot as well. So we're hoping to be the fourth party that would actually be on the ballot. Given the fact of everything that was announced last week, we've had lots of independents that have contacted us that are very disappointed in the fact that they're not going to be able to have a say-so in the primary process. We think that they should be able to do so. So I actually initiated contact with the election board to find out exactly what the specifics were, and so we wanted to announce that so that way independents who feel like they don't have an option currently right now based upon what's taking place will know that they actually do. So since we are going to be a new political party, and since we are going to have our deadline date, which is going to be February 20th, which is going to be the deadline to turn in our petitions, we were also told that if we submit our letter at that time, opening up our primary system to independents and put that in a written form, that they would be able to vote in the primary elections for our party. Now, I think that this is good because when you start to look at the current system right now, there are a lot of independents that feel like they're not going to have a say in the 26 election cycle. And they also are disappointed because they're taxpayers. So I'm sure as everyone knows, primary elections and general elections are funded by taxpayer funds. We currently right now have somewhere close to 500,000 independents that are registered here in the state of Oklahoma. So their tax dollars are going to go into a process that they felt like they were going to be shut out of. Currently right now we have roughly 21,000 signatures. I'm going to let the executive director go more into detail into that. But we're starting this initial petition drive to make sure that we get enough signatures so that way independents will actually have a choice in this election cycle, because that's our key thing. We want to make sure that they have a voice. We also, at that time, want to also allow candidates that have thought about running as independents to be able to have a platform in which they can actually run and receive some party support. Just also a brief thing that I wanted to mention during the conference. Currently right now we have donors, about 20, that have agreed to pay for the filing fees of anyone who wishes to run on the Sooner State Party ticket for this election cycle. Now that's important because right now, I'm sure as a lot of folks know, elections are not cheap. You know, there's a lot of expenses put into that. So anything that we can do to try to help any candidates that want to come forward to represent the party in the election cycle, we want to try to be able to do that. We have roughly about $160,000 that's been pledged to us in written form. So that way, once we are established as a party, we can begin to set up the accounts. That set up, of course, we'll come over to the Ethics Commission here, make sure that we file all the documents necessary to be able to continue on as a party and do that in an orderly manner and a legal manner, and then go forward. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to Reagan. She's going to go a lot more into detail about some of the things that have taken place, and then also Cecilia, who's actually a registered independent right now, who's going to talk a little bit about how important this is for independents to be able to have a voice.
So we need 35,000 signatures in order to be on the 2026 ballot. That's our goal. That's what we are working towards. We have 21,000 confirmed signatures, and we are still gathering signatures to this day. We are increasing that signature gathering efforts. We are, of course, targeting towards independents. Independents make up nearly 500,000 of Oklahomans. I suspect there are more out there that we are trying to reach and encourage to join the party. We aim to be a party by Oklahomans for Oklahomans, and that's what we're working towards right now. So with the clarity we have received from the Ethics Commission, as soon as we turn in these petitions for these signatures, we will be turning in the paperwork needed to open up those primaries. We are committed to open primaries for all Oklahomans. That's what we're doing right here and right now. In order to be on the 2026 ballot, yes. Worst case scenario, we don't make that. We are still working to be on that 2028 ballot. The 2026 ballot is our goal, and we are very close to getting there. That's why we're making this final effort and this final push. The process to vote right now, I would say they're pretty cut out from the parties. Both Republicans and Democrats have closed primaries, meaning that the candidates they set forth to be voted on, it's really up to just those individual people. They get cut out. They don't have that voice. They aren't able to participate, and it's really closed to people who are siloed to one party. We are not siloing to one party. We are opening up to lots of different ideas, lots of different opinions, lots of different ways of thinking. And that's why we aim to make it as easy as possible to vote in our primaries. That's why transparency is a big thing for us. And we want people to be welcome here and to feel like their voices heard in the Cedar State Party. I think it's very important for a 2026 election because there are several changes that are happening, and there's lots of disappointments with both sides of the current established parties. We have heard from people who have been Republican their whole lives. We have heard from people who have been Democrat their whole lives that they are frustrated with the process, that they see solutions for Oklahomans, but they can't put forward those solutions because Democrats don't want to support a Republican bill, or Republicans don't want to support a Democrat bill, or there's just too much party infighting, or there's just this red tape from these party establishments. There's just been barriers. We hear from people who have participated, we hear from people who struggle to participate, that there are just barriers all around. We are here to help eliminate those barriers. We are here to have a fresh start for Oklahomans and just be a fresh slate to start again, to say, hey, we don't have to be siloed to Republican, Democrat, or Libertarian, that we can have some common ground. I believe that there is more that unites us than divides us, and that's what we aim to prove here. Lastly, I would like to encourage people to reach out to us. We have an email address, the SoonerStatePartyOK@gmail.com. Please email us if you are interested. Please email us if you want to learn more.
So the reason why I co-founded the Sooner State Party is because though I have been of age to vote in the past 2 elections, I have only registered and voted in the last one. And that's because I never felt like I had a viable candidate to vote for. I mean, I can remember as far back as like sort of catching some of the pieces, like when Obama was running, you know what I mean? I would have been around 6 years old, I think, the first time that he ran, if I'm correct. And I remember looking and being like, wow, a black person. And then I didn't see another one until Kamala. And so I was always very excited to have, like, you know, a little bit more representation. But then I thought, if I want to have that representation, why not help by representing other people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even then, I still didn't have an independent candidate to vote for. And I never felt like my vote mattered unless there was a D or an R next to it. And I don't want other people to feel like that anymore. Yes, because I think a lot of people were excited. I guess technically we have a third option, but a lot of people were excited for a fourth option, you know what I mean? Especially, like, I know there's plenty of folk, including myself, that just want to do what's right for other people. And we don't care about party affiliation or, like, you know, certain ideals. We just want people to be able to live life comfortably. Everyone has the right to do that.
Very good.
I want to close out with a couple of things. I know that our executive director mentioned to contact us at SoonerStatePartyOK@gmail.com. The reason why we're having folks email us is that the turnout since last week has actually crashed our original site that we had. So we're in the process right now of trying to get that fixed because we had such an influx of independents that were reaching out to us to try to find out exactly what they needed to do. So we want to be able to do that. We're also going to release a phone number so people can actually call us to let us know if you are in an area here in Oklahoma and you want to get a petition to be able to take to your church, to your neighbors, to whomever, to make sure to try to help us in getting these signatures. We want to be able to help you in that process. So we're going to be giving out that contact information to you all. If you guys could please just let folks know, so that way they'll know how to reach out to us. And finally, we want to thank the media for coming out for this. It's important that we're able to get this message out there, because a lot of independents have said that they haven't heard anything, except for a few select times when things have come up and they've been so drastic that they, heard it on the news. So thank you all for coming out and helping us and trying to get that message out to Oklahomans so that way they can register.